Hi, welcome to WGCU's Test Kitchen. I'm Tara Calligan, and today we're making scallops fried Diavolo with fennel and linguine. So today I'm going to be using America's Test Kitchen cookbook, Dinners Illustrated. So what I love about this cookbook is every single recipe is under an hour. And now this is my own personal cookbook. And it's actually exposed me to a lot of new ingredients and recipes. This particular recipe I have never tried before, so let's go ahead and get started. The ingredients we'll need today are 2 fennel bulbs, 12 garlic cloves, fresh parsley, 1 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, 1.5 pounds of large sea scallops, salt and pepper, of course, 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, or probably in my case more because I like it spicy, half a teaspoon of sugar, 1 cup dry white wine, and 1 pound linguine. So first things first, I'm going to grab my trusty sea salt and we're gonna get that water boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the fennel now. You want to remove the stalk from the bulb. You can easily do that. A little chop action there. We're gonna half it as well. And then we just want to thinly slice the entire thing. All right, garlic. Crush the garlic. I maybe crushed it a little more than some people do. And then you can just go ahead and mince that up very nicely here. Now I'm gonna grab a 1/4 cup of parsley. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to drain that 28 ounces of diced tomatoes. I'm using a strainer here because I don't wanna lose all those nice chunky bits, but I do wanna get rid of that tomato sauce. The tomato sauce we are making today is a spicy, robust, wonderful tomato sauce, so we wanna get rid of as much liquid as we can. So on to one of my favorite parts is the scallops. And then I'm going to check for any tendons on these scallops, and if they have them, I'm going to go ahead and remove them. All right, the other important part here is going to be patting these dry because I want to get a really nice sear on either side of the scallop. So with all that moisture, it's not going to allow me to get such a great sear. Before I sear the scallops though, you have to season them. So what I usually use is fresh cracked black pepper and also fresh cracked sea salt. I'm using my own personal measurements here as far as my personal taste, and I suggest that you do the same. And salt. You can go too far with salt, so please don't over season. You kind of can't come back from that. The best tool in the kitchen is your hands, so do not be afraid to use your hands. Our water is aggressively boiling. That is exactly what you want, a rolling boil. We need 1 pound of linguine. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to cook my pasta for about a minute less than the package calls for. This particular package called for 11 minutes, but since this pot is at an extreme rolling boil, I'm gonna do it for about 8 minutes. And there we go. Now we're gonna go ahead and heat up the olive oil in the pan. I pretty much eyeballed this. You'd like the oil to cover the whole entire bottom of the pan because you want a nice sear on either side of those scallops. So we're gonna put it flat side down. I know it may seem like there's a lot of flat sides, but it's very obvious what side is the one you wanna sear. We want a hard sear here, and then on the flip side, pretty much of the coin of the scallop. We're gonna let them sit there for about 4 minutes each side until you notice that there is a very hard sear on either side of the scallop. And our pasta's done. We're going to drain the pasta now. We do not want this to overcook. Again, it will continue cooking in our fried Diavolo sauce as well. So I'm noticing that some of the scallops are searing a little faster than others. I'm gonna start rearranging them in the pan a little bit because there may be a certain spot on your oven or your range that's a little hotter than another. So just be mindful of that and just kind of move them around. We're gonna use the same oil that we used from the scallops. I still have some reserved oil here, so I'm going to toss the fennel into that same scallop oil. It's going to have all of those flavor from the scallops, the amazing fond at the bottom of the pan. We do not wanna lose that. And fond, again, is those little nice caramelized brown bits that you get at the bottom of the pan. Our fennel's gonna cook for about, 8 or so minutes. We want it to be caramelized. We want it to be nice and golden brown. We want it to be really pliable, but we still would like to retain some crunch. What we wanna do now is pour the fennel, which is all cooked and golden brown and delicious, right on top of those scallops. This is going to keep the scallops nice and warm. It's also going to marry that wonderful broken down, sauteed fennel flavor into your scallop as well. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to the pan so I can saute that garlic. We don't wanna brown the garlic in this particular case. We just wanna push it till it gets a little bit translucent. Our pan is still nice and hot, so that shouldn't be any problem for the garlic. And I want every little bit of garlic. So a little bit of salt here. It'll help release any of that flavor from the garlic. It'll also help break down some of the properties in that as well. Now we're gonna add half a tablespoon of sugar. Kind of sprinkle that in the pan a little bit. We're also going to add the white wine. So I think that personally my garlic is where I want it to be. If you'd like it to go a little further, that's your preference, but I feel like right now it's perfect. Now that white wine is gonna completely deglaze the pan a little bit. We're gonna let this come to a simmer and then we're gonna add our tomato sauce. This is simmering nicely. I just wanna get a little bit more of that alcohol out of here. So I'm gonna add the canned tomatoes, which we have already drained. And again, we added this colander on top of a bowl so it can continue to drain even after I use that in the sink. Now everything's gonna hang out, it's gonna marry, all of the flavors are going to infuse together. We're going to simmer this into a wonderful fried Diavolo spicy tomato sauce. And that smells amazing. I'm very happy with this. Again, I have not made this recipe before, so you never know what's gonna happen with a new recipe. With America's Test Kitchen though, it's quite easy. The recipes are under an hour and they've exposed me to so many different ingredients. We're gonna simmer this for about 8 minutes or so until it becomes nice and thick. But I'm gonna add the red pepper flakes now. It asks for about a tablespoon. I'm gonna eyeball this and I'm gonna add this in. So for my personal taste, I'm gonna add a little more salt and just a touch of that red pepper. So right now, this is what we're looking at. The sauce is coming together very nicely. It tastes delicious. Spice forward, tomato forward, garlic forward, everything that we were looking for in this particular recipe. I'm gonna add some pasta in, and I'm gonna start to stir it to get it coated in that sauce. As that becomes incorporated, you can go ahead and add the rest of your pasta, or you can add it just in stages as you'd like to coat it. So we are all set. This is starting to look and smell absolutely amazing. I'm going to add now our fennel and scallop mixture to complete this dish. Scallops are very delicate, so you want to treat it appropriately. I'm gonna add some parsley now, and then we're also gonna add some parsley to finish as well. We are good to go. This smells absolutely amazing. I'll show you I'll try to plate this the best way that I can. So I'm gonna grab some pasta, place it down, and I heard we can just do some of this action. We definitely wanna make sure we get some of that seafood on there. We want that scallop and fennel and tomato representation. So I'm gonna get a little extra, a little fancy. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil. Do not douse this in olive oil, just a touch. You want a little sheen. Okay, now before I take a bite, and I know this is extremely counterintuitive, I'm gonna go ahead and snap a photo. WGCU is holding a WGCU Test Kitchen contest. So if you create an America's Test Kitchen recipe like I just did today, we would love you to snap a photo and you can post that using hashtag WGCU Test Kitchen. You can post that to Instagram, you can post that to Facebook, you can also post it to Twitter, again, using the hashtag WGCU Test Kitchen. We're gonna have a wonderful competition going on throughout the month of November, and you could win some really awesome America's Test Kitchen swag, because I'm not sure if you know this, there is a new season of America's Test Kitchen coming right to WGCU. I'm going to take a bite out of this. I cannot wait. It smells absolutely amazing. This is a wonderful recipe. And again, America's Test Kitchen. We'd love to see what you post. So go ahead. WGCU Test Kitchen is the hashtag to use. I'd love to see what you make.